Welcome to the Grand Design series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 14th of March 2007, which is roughly 10 months on from the end of the last part. It's not as far on as I originally hoped, but I wanted to stop at this point because I want to show you a couple of interesting things and also report on several disasters that have occurred, one specifically probably of my own making, and I think it's quite significant to be aware of it. But as usual, before we get started, a big thank you for all your comments and feedback. You guys give me a lot to think about. Now, the reason we're starting looking at this ship, this is a garbage ship. In fact, you can see it's pushing barges out the water, so it's a tug. And if I show you here, you can see it's got a load of, well, you can say 1,800 tons of mixed waste, which we are exporting to NATO. You can see it's worth $105,000 compared to but if you were sending this to the Soviet border, it would be costing us $3.2 million. Now, the interesting thing about this is, if I come over to this bit, I'm aware that you probably can't see it. You see that it's made up of between 5 and 10% construction waste, 10 and 20 odd percent burnable waste. It says 50% other waste, and normally when it goes above 50%, it means that's the majority. And then it says a very small amount of ash, which is quite intriguing, because if I come back to where this actually dropped off, because this is an experiment to get rid of some surplus waste due to a bit of a technicality. If I come back to here, you'll see that we've got the same constituent here with waste that's already waiting to be exported from this transfer office. Now, if I come up to here, now the sole pickup point for that our mixed waste is here, because what's actually happening in the game mechanic, if you watch the previous one, you can see that this is virtually pure ash. And the reason that we've got a train taking pure ash from here all the way down to that port is the fact that if I show you here, well, these are actually started to kind of, okay, these are quite low. Let me just check. I think we might, what is this one? Yeah, I think these are just started out. This is, so if I, yeah. These are new ones which have just been brought online. And what I've got here is 22 floor dumps. I've got 2 more over here. And you can see, and these are 2 that have just been finished. So they're just starting to fill up. You can see they've all got an average of about 260 tons in them. And they're all decomposing ash. Now, what I've found is that generally these can handle the day-to-day load, but if for some reason something goes wrong, there's a surge, these can fill up very, very quickly. This is the reason why I've got this one set but to the says here Magatul ash distribution. Where, oh no, that's the thing, it's the train here. What this is doing is when this one fills up too much, and it's I think it's over 80%, this one, sorry, then the ash is actually exported to the border to get rid of the surplus. So you can say this is a bit of an overflow condition. But I am very intrigued over how something that's virtually pure ash here can turn into waste ash here that's of a different consistency. The only thing I can think of is because the fact I'm using a transfer office here. And I wonder whether these transfer offices have a subtle impact on the way the waste is actually managed. And to be completely honest, it's working as an overflow. One thing I will mention about this is that the load time for the ship is pretty good, actually. I don't know if that's because it's a mod ship and it might load faster. And I would probably say that if you've got to get rid of ash, rather than you go and send them to the custom shed where the load to unload time is very, very slow, this is probably the way to go if you can build an ash port on the map there. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. I'm just going to let the game run slowly now while I'm going. Now, the next one I want to talk about is very interesting, and it is down to the fact that if I show you here, I'm in the process of cleaning up this area here and demolishing this. The reason being is that if I show you here, I've got a type 30B container here stuck in my scrapping facility. And I know you can't read it, but it says here, we cannot store or export hazardous waste. And what I actually did was I went back all the autosaves. Luckily, I'm autosaving quite regularly from the previous recording. And I think what actually happened, and I say this is probably my own fault, is that what I had is I think it was this guy, or not this truck, but the truck, his predecessor, was actually broken down. It broken down by 100% because the maintenance cover here is quite weak. Because obviously, in fact, I can't remember if I actually fixed it. I just need to check it. The vehicle maintenance here is on the maximum coverage. And what you see is it doesn't quite reach to this point here. So I've got a weakness here in the sense that the vehicles here can't be repaired. But I don't really want to put another repair base out here. So anyway, back to the story. So the previous truck broke down, and what I had to do in the end is, and rather than use auto replace, what I did was I sent the truck manually by clicking on it and saying go to the scrapping facility over here. So the containers were unloaded here with the truck. So you had the truck and the four containers on it. Now, what that meant was because these are containers, these got treated as separate entities. And then as soon as the scrapping facility tried to scrap the container here, it went into this mode. Now, what I did wonder is whether if it said collect resources from vehicle, if this had been unchecked, whether this would actually have occurred, because what it would have done is turned everything into mixed waste. But I think there's a real possibility that we would still have the hazardous waste process, because of course the dump itself has no capability to deal with hazardous waste. Now, I've tried various different ways, but the only thing I can come up with is to actually demolish this. And that's what I'm in the process of doing, which is causing a little bit of a problem with respect to my scrapping facilities, because at the moment the only scrapping facility I've got now is down here in this area, which is this one over here. So what I've had to do, and of course because that one up the top is still active, what happens is that it's still sitting. Well, these are old buses, these are chav buses. I thought one moment that was a metro train. There's another story related to metro trains. You can see that some of these vehicles are now pretty beat up. And of course, what I had up the top was 3 helicopters. In fact, I just want to check because I think I might still have a helicopter. Oh no, I've actually finished it and it's now over here. Basically, the moral of this story that I've kind of gone on a little bit too long about is that if you are manually scrapping vehicles, make sure that they are empty and they certainly don't contain anything that would be hazardous. And I think it's probably going to relate mainly to casks and containers. I think if the vehicles have a normal load on them, say for example if you had an open haul full of iron ore, I think the game ignores the iron ore and just converts it. But that's something you do need to be a little bit aware of. So that is the disasters related to waste management. The one thing I will say up here is what I've done here. I've still having a few problems with the what we call it. Where is it? Over here. No, not over here. I've got lost on my own map here. Over here. I'm still having a few problems here. So what I've resorted to doing is actually sending the hazardous waste now over to a proper dedicated dump over in this area. So now all the hazardous waste is coming to, where is it? Here. The only problem is that the hazardous waste is piling up a little bit, so I do need to keep an eye of it. So that is the current situation. Now, another disaster that was proved fairly expensive, but not massively expensive, is the this depot actually burnt down because I hadn't built the road connection round here. And because it burnt down, I also had 2 metro trains in here. So I lost the depot and 2 metro trains, which I'd moved up in preparation for adding to the line here. So that was another bit of a disaster. The other thing I want to talk about is the fact that during the, well, it started in the, well, as soon as it started to get cold, because I'm working on this area, and you can see we've got the beginnings of our workforce here. In fact, just let the game run fast, I think. So we're starting to populate this area and get this ready, and because of the fire and problems like that, I opened these buildings up to there, but the workforce is pretty erratic, putting it politely. So I opened up both of these heating plants, and what actually happened was the buses, the workers in here dropped right down. So what I've done is I've put in a small cable car here, which is now providing the workforce to here rather than the buses, and hopefully that's going to provide some stability with respect to that area. Let me just check my list. I've got such a list of things. Yeah, waste export, train depot, scrapyard. So that is the kind of key disasters. I had a few minor ones related to happiness. The other thing also is, if you watch the previous video, I was talking about crime in this area, and I think it's still a little bit of a hot spot. If I'm trying to put this on, yeah, it's still 5-6% here, but what I have done is the prison population is still kind of fairly high, and I think that's because we're cleaning up the crime rate. But the prison over here, where we got, I've now got this prison operational, but we got a health risk. This game is always giving curveballs. So we're killing our prisoners off. Luckily, I've got the swarm. The swarm does me grand in the sense of their, yeah, 2 prisoners escaped last year, so we need to get this sorted out. We are having a fairly positive problem, but you can see again it shows how much prison overflow it is. And I think I want to give a shout out to Vimes, who said that he normally works on 50%, which is what, 105. So what I'm probably going to be looking is to build another prison, but what I'm probably thinking of doing is putting that prison up here to spread them around a bit, because you can see we've got a little bit of a crime wave here as well, and we've got this area here. What I have done up here is put in another food store because things were getting a little bit sketchy. Anyway, what I can do now is move on to the positive. That is the fact that we've now built our airport here. Broken vehicle. Oh, great. What I've been doing is, I don't know if it's a legacy from the early start, but I'm kind of having a few problems with this. What I'm going to do is just replace you like that. I think the key, what actually happens though, I just want to check something. I think when you do that, the vehicle just disappears. One of the reasons why I like to use the manual replacement, because I'm too tight-fisted. I think I about need to clear up these messages as well at the moment. I've got 176 pages of messages at the moment. Yeah, I think if you do use the replace button, the vehicle that you're replacing just disappears off the map, and the other one just kind of turns up and takes over. Oh, one other kind of little disaster or mini disaster I've had is, if I come back over here, is it's twofold disaster. First thing is I wanted to produce trolley buses, and I assigned it to the wrong building, so I ended up exporting trolley buses instead of cars. And the other thing is I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't turn off the automatic production, so I've now got 64 snowplows scattered across the map. You can see here I've got a whole area here full of snowplows. Yeah, that was a little bit of a mistake. Anyway, back to aircraft production. Now, I'm a bit reluctant at the moment to bring a major workforce into here, but what I want to do is set up a kind of low-key kind of production. It says building without drinking water. Yeah, I've got to put the drinking water connection in. So what we're going to do is look at some templates. What we're going to do is see what do I need? That's a good question, isn't it? Helicopters. Right, we want M10 cargo, M10 passenger. So let me just see. Helicopter, 408 million. Wow. Is there anything better? I mean, these carry 28 passengers. You carry 22. This is the M16. You carry 47 passengers. You're 409. Yeah, is it the M16 or the M10? It says the M10 there. No, this is the MI6. Sorry, not M16. This is 280. This is free. This travels faster, but it carries more passengers. Yeah, I think we buy that and then set this. Oh no, it's this one, isn't it? MI6. Ah, this is why I'm stuck with the M10 at the moment, because I've got no auto replacement. Okay, we're gonna have to. Yeah, that might have been a little bit of a mistake. Helicopter cargo only 13 tons. We're actually, I think what we're going to do is we'll cancel that production. We'll make the cargo version, which is the M10 cargo, which is we're going to stick with, and we'll stick with the passenger replacement. So what we're going to do is produce a couple of helicopters in slow time. Now the other thing is that oh yeah, we're still working on the refueling, because the other thing I want to do is bring this runway into operation, but we need to get fuel into here first. One thing I will do is just have a look at, let me just see what type of aircraft. Passenger plane, passenger cargo. That's 35 million, but wow, 884 passengers. That's a TU-54. About a TU-1. Wow, a TU-144. That is nearly 2 billion for the template. To be honest, I'm not going to have that many aircraft, so I think How much would it cost me to actually buy one? Oh, that's the... I think I've just clicked on the... We've got an Antonov here, but that's a cargo plane. Well, that's pretty interesting. Obviously, the aircraft I was looking at, 68 million. I think, to be honest, we're only going to manufacture helicopters. I can't really see the point. Although I suppose we could manufacture aircraft for export, but I think at the moment we're just going to let workers come in here and slowly produce it. It's also interesting, just to draw your attention to, the actual resources needed to finish. It crops up in all the vehicle production is that you need electronics to be able to produce vehicles. But truthfully, unless there's a modded option out there, the only time you're going to need electronics is to produce aircraft and things. I've just noticed that there's a whole load of people just kind of walking up the long way round. I think we just give them a little mud footpath there so they can walk round the gardens. Okay, now something tells me it's going to take a very long time to produce one of these with only 60 workers, but I don't really want to drain the workforce from this area. Anyway, so that is the current situation. We are still building up this area. As I say, we've got a population of 137,000. I don't know how many. We've got 3,800 odd over 21s. One thing I do want to check, I need to do this, come in here, is we're going to zap the vaccine again. So that we got it. So let's just get down to the area that I was working on. Just to show you here, we've made a lot of progress with the factory, but absolutely zero progress with the new town. That's because of all the distractions and problems I've got. So we were actually bringing this together quite nicely, but we need the new town actually built here. Let me just see. I just want to make sure. If I put Stilton on that and that on that, and you can see we've already built one of the closed factories. Let's check the rail line as well. These guys are getting very enthusiastic. One of the nice things actually, when you get into this point of game and you've got the kind of inclination and resources, is that the game can go quite quickly when you're actually working on things. Right, so up here I want to build a town. I kind of cleared this area here. So I don't want the distance to be, I want the distance to be far enough away so that we don't get pollution. But at the same time, I want the option to be able to, so that the trams can get through very, very quickly. So, and what I want to do is, the population here is we need about 1,800 workers for this add-on. So we're only talking a small town of about 2,500, 3,000 people. I don't want it to be any bigger. What I'm thinking is, let me just see, how flat is this area? This flat area is pretty flat. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to choose a shopping centre. That's a bit of a monster, isn't it? I don't really like this building. You've only got one connection. And I want two connections because I want to use the same technique that I've used on my aluminium town. This can serve about 200 people. I think what we can do is we're going to put you you're going to be in the town centre. Bearing in mind that we've got to do a tram loop. Actually, if I can push you that way, like that, and we're going to Right, I need a warehouse. Fairly kind of would like to be. I want this to be kind of stretched out as far as it will go. The question is, can we get the meat store out this far as well? Where's the... we're going to use this thing. If I get that there, let the game run, then we're going to put a... Oh, great. Okay, we're going to have to do it the opposite way round. I put the cargo station in first. Maybe tilt you extremely this way, like that. Get you turn you that way. Actually, if we put you this way, we can really stretch it out about as far as we can get it. Good. And then what I want to do is put an open store here, but we're going to need to leave enough space for the service road, because this is going to encapsulate this area here. Then the next thing we're going to need to do is pick up the rail line here. Now, truthfully, we're probably not going to have very long trains here, but we need to probably, that should be far enough. Thank you, game. It's not connected. I think we're run this track down here. I think we'll go past the signals like that, and then we'll bring you in here. There's no need for a back curve because this won't actually do anything. Traffic jam. It's the wrong time of year. I need to be a little bit careful. Oh no, it's already beat up traffic thingy here. So we've got our kind of shop here, and we probably get some residential stuff on this side. We got yeah, we can bring a road round here. Right, we need to plan a tram route. Okay, the grid's not going to be much help. I think if we run a road like that, I'm going to pick up a road from here. This would be the service road. That can come into there. And we've got to bring a road up here. I will upgrade it to trams. Yeah, that can cross there. And then you can run there. So this would be our tram line coming here. I think what I will do is we'll make a crossroad here, going across like that. So what we'll have is a loop, because we've got to put in a tram station. That means we've got to have a route from here. Okay, that's something out. Oops, I need to put in Let me just tidy up this here. Okay, there's no connection here. If we can, it's gone, good. Right, we're going to need a tram depot. We might as well put it here. So we'll get that in first as well. The rent is not going to need that much in the way of, oops. I'm going to put a tram depot. Actually, we'll put it up about there. Now, should we put it down here? Like that. Should we put it there? Now, of course, the one thing we're going to need here is a tram railroad connector as well, which we can put down here. Because, of course, we can put that almost side by side there. And then run you up like that. Bring you, whoops, bring you round like that. And again, you can just come into here, be a little bit extravagant, and then you can come. Okay, you're a bit too far. Now this won't get used very much, so it's not like we're going to need it. We can connect you in like that. What that will do is allow me to get the tram connector into there. This will give us the tram connection there. Right, so we've got our store. I'm going to put the hospital in. Actually, if this is going to be our town centre, yeah, I think if we, this would be a normal road going that way, like that. Let's get some accommodation in here, and then we can put another kind of town centre here, which will allow us to build the hospital and the various other bits and pieces. But we need to keep the range within range of the store. So let me just accept that. Right. So we've now got a pattern. What would I want here in the way of? I don't really want to build. Do I want to build a modern city or an old city? My instinct is old. Because this will probably be the last blast of kind of thing. So maybe build something. Let me just see if we come over to here. Something like this, but maybe we could have this pattern, isn't it? These are ampere houses. Quality of flats 84%. Or should we just build something that's really high quality? I think because we're going to need a very efficient workforce, let's just go for something that's not super dense, but at the same time something that might be attractive. This is 89%. Now let's have a look at the ampere houses. Let's see, residential. I'm looking for maybe something that might be a little bit different. Okay, these are 90. It says these are 94%. So the 80% may be down to the fact that the buildings are producing wear and tear. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to put in. We're going to create. Yeah, let's create visual effect like this across like that. So these are 300 workers. So this would be, that's 600. Start with the mirror on this side. That would be 900. And that would be 1200, like that. So that would give us 1200. Then we can build the center there. Yeah, I think that will work quite nicely. So that gives us 1200 workers on here. And of course, with this route, because it's got a single destination, we can get a two-way flow going with the trams. So, sorry, that gives us 1200 workers. We will go for a modern hospital. I do want to make sure, let me just see. We'll put the roads between there and there. But I do want to make sure that I can get a footpath out of here. Yeah. Good. So the next thing we'll do is we'll put in the modern hospital. We can put it on this corner. Actually, no, we'll put it on this corner with something like that. Leave plenty of space for footpaths. So just put you there. That means I can, if I take a road out of here, going, I think we'll build it on a grid pattern, although that goes against the grain, to be honest. So we'll have a central kind of crossroads here, market center. You're going to need to come in, put these in so that I don't, we've got a bit of a corner here. Whoops, thank you, game. Right, so next thing we're going to need is sport in the center. Where's the sport? Indoor pool. Oh yeah, that would be nice. If we put the indoor pool just there, we won't split the road, but we know that we can do it. If I push that way, we can get a footpath there. That gives us the hospital, the indoor pool. As usual, shove the security police. Actually, what we could do, that's close enough. We could put another. What have we got here? This is 220. This is 285. Oh, that's nice. We could put you on this corner. Like this. Oh yeah, we can get a pattern here. So we can get you there. Like that with the 2 ampere houses. That gives us another 600 people. Right. Just push this road out like that. And that. And we'll put a road connection maybe a little bit closer in like that. We've got a hospital there. We need a university. Actually, I think for the university point of view, we will use the headquarters of the Communist Party. Should we put the White House in? Is that actually, it says White House, maximum number of students 60. Headquarters of the Communist Party. Tower of London. We've already built the Tower of London. That is the university. We've built the Tower of London, tiny university, historic. That is got a maximum amount of students. 420, 60. I think for the sheer fun of it, guys, is we're going to put the White House in the center, just so that we can look at the model. It might not be and have a big enough capacity, but say just for the fun of it, we'll put the White House in there just to see what it looks like. I mean, this is an opportunity to look at the models. And what we're also going to need here is some culture. So back to here. I think we'll just stick with the... And is there anything different here? Got a House of Culture. Got an amphitheatre. The trouble with the amphitheatre is it will shut down. I think we'll just put in the cinema there. So we'll have a bit of a... Actually... No. What we will do is we'll create a little bit of a row effect here. Again, we'll just come in here. We'll put in... Start here. This is an opera house. What we will do then is put in a private school. I haven't created one of these little rows of utilities for a little while, and it would fit with the... So that is the private school, and then we'll put the kindergarten alongside like that. I don't know why I keep pausing. So we got that there, and we got the swimming pool, we got the modern hospital, we got this here. And then what we could do is put a modern house there, but we could leave that open. Actually no, we can leave this corner done like that. Then we'll go back to... Yeah, I want to keep this theme going. I think I quite like the idea of this theme. So if we put you there, it's like a... push you apart there, like that. Maybe put a bit more space in there. If I put you there, just leave a little bit. No, I don't want that. As I clicked it, I thought, no, I don't want it. So that gives us 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 1800. Add on another. So we're getting close to the size of the population. Now, one thing I am going to need to do is make this completely self-contained. So we are going to need geothermal power and also geothermal heating. So we're going to need a bit of extra population. I think this is giving me the main structure. Let me just extend you out like that. Put you... Actually, yeah, let's just go kind of out this way. Put you there. Put that connector there. That would be big enough. We're going to come down here. Actually, come down to about there. We'll put a kind of curved corner on this bit here. And that's going to be the... Alright, I know I've kind of blocked this in. But what we're going to have to do now is put in the tram stops. There's a bit more space here, so we can make a space here for the tram stops. We'll use large tram stops, so this will cover that corner. We could, if I put one there, that's going to be inconvenient. If I take out this bit here. Put in the tram stop there. It's a bit, don't like that kind of bendy connection thingy. So we got a tram stop there, tram stop there. Probably all we really need is another one here, because the workers could get to that or that. Actually, if we do the distance range, yeah. So you can cover to this area. You will cover to this area. So if we remove a chunk of road there and put in a tram stop there, I think 3 pickup points would be more than enough. Because each one of these is, what's the tram stop? 400 workers. So right, so the next thing we're going to need to do is put in you can come to there, to there, to there. I mean, it pays just to keep things like this simple. So if we come here, then you can come down to there. You need that connection. You need that connection. Ah, I think we just upset the road. Yeah, I think we've just upset these guys because they come out here to... Right, I think we've got the core in here to get going. What we need is... we need the road connection. We'll get the assistance with... Get this built in here. To begin with, so we can get the connection into here. One thing I did do, and it's here somewhere, is I've built another construction office here. The only problem is I've done my usual sin in the sense that I've overloaded the actual aggregates. Anyway, I think we've got enough of a foundation up here to get going. I think I will put the heavy mob on that. Right, we're now on the 16th of April. I want to get down and see how well the demolition is going here. Right, these guys... Ah, see, look. Wait. You're in the wrong place. And it won't let me demolish it until this guy's gone. So, where are you? You never find half the things here. So you can see we've already got one here. There's no other vehicles here. Right. This is going to be painful. I've got dedicated demolition crew here, which I've put up. One thing I have got to do, and let me just show you this, is if I come here, I've got loads of free construction offices all over the place, but I've got no idea where they're going. Right, so we're going to get rid of you. I've removed the open store and the warehouse. The only potential problem I can think of is this rail line, because I don't think these guys have got... I don't think these will allow me, because they don't have a waste drop-off point. So if I do something here, so what I might have to do is push this back a bit so that I can bring another rail line in. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I mean, we've got the bus stop here, so we could actually move as long as the power connections and everything, we can always move it down to here and come in that way. But we'll get rid of you and fix my mistake. Let me just get back up. So I think for the rest of the video now, I don't think there's much time left anyway. Yeah, we are quite literally got about 10 minutes, 15 minutes left on the video. So what I will do, come to think of it, I need to do this because we need more workers moving around the system. And what I need to do now is get you here. Go to there, pick up everything, and go back to here. Okay. Now, the reason I'm cutting this train to bring all these metro trains to here, or some of them, is down to the fact that metro trains are very long. Now, if you watch this guy build up the length of the train, this train is 207 meters long. Now, the problem is that if I try to send that up across the map, it will cause chaos. We're going to get you to go again and get the other one. And what we're going to do is pick up you. Actually, I think what I would like you to do is do some more CH-57s. Where I think I've got quite a few, but they're all scattered across the map. Let me just see. Oh wow, no, I've used them all up. Okay. Okay. I'm surprised how quickly you go through these trains. Make 5 more. How many trains have I actually got running now? 118, and that doesn't include the old ones. I must have over 200 trains running now. Wow, that's a record. That's the metro. Yeah, these are all metros. I don't think I can get a third one on the. I'm kind of shifting them 2 at a time. Let's clear that. And the easiest way to send these metros is just to go up here and just tell the guy to change depot. If I can find the depot. I think I actually lost a train as well. Let me just see. I think I might have a traffic jam. Very concerned about these now. Yep, there we are. What are you doing? What's going on here? I think if I these are short trains. Where are you? You got a collision here. Can I send you home? Yep. Wow, there's a signal's missing. Oh, that's a failure. How did that happen? Yeah, what happened there was... This is how this game can catch you out, because it's probably now, with all this backlog, it's probably caused all sorts of problems. Yeah, it's this, that you've got a mutually exclusive thingy here, so you probably find now this is building up. There's probably food shortage somewhere. And of course it's also slowing down the construction. I think this is another example of the fact that no matter how well you think you've built things, that something as consequential as that can have a devastating effect. And I'll be completely upfront. I was watching Bill Joe's series, the end of it, or not. He's now building up to, because he's got this plan to let the game run without any monitoring for 20 years. And to be honest, I'm going to be very interested to see what results he actually gets from that. Now let me just see. Well, we haven't got the water supplies in here yet, so I can't. Oops. We've got a water connection to there, but what I haven't done is we got water. I need to get water into here, and so we need to build these water supplies. We're not worried about the further range ones. We've got sanitations built, I think. We've got the chemicals delivered. So I was hoping to get this populated in this part, but obviously not. It's not going to work. Okay. Oops. God, this guy didn't hang around, did he? Right. I'm going to, oops. Going to run you back to here because you're my delivery train. Get you into there. I'm not exactly sure what these are doing here. I think these are what as I say, what I've tried to do is when I build wagons here, I mean, I made a mistake with the overall sanitation and not the sanitation, the waste vehicles, and they queued up here, and I ended up taking, no, it was boxcars, wasn't it, over here. This is why these buildings are full of boxcars, which are probably not being used. Okay, it looks like we've got a breakdown over here. Right, looks like this guy's on his way. Yeah, all that. Now these guys don't get replaced, so I do need to take a quick look at this. I have got spare. I have manufactured some spare ones, but yeah, look at this. See, don't think. Let me just see. Dot track builder. Trucks. Right, we got 4 in storage, but where is it? Where's the storage? They're probably in some ridiculous place where I haven't got them. Let me just, oops. Actually, I'll sort that out off camera, guys, because I've got a feeling that they've been sent for storage somewhere on the map. I mean, they should, in theory, be here somewhere, but I've got a feeling that they've been sent somewhere else. They're probably in some depot that's so far away that the game's decided that they don't need to be things. So I've got vehicles stashed everywhere, and of course these are all aging and starting to decay. Yeah, actually what I will do is just get back here. I've got one of these that can do custom work. Let me just check it's not that one. I think it might be this one. No, not that one. Is it this one? Let me just see, all related vehicles. Okay, maybe I don't have one that does custom work. Let me just see. No, yeah, moving everything. Okay, we're gonna have to. Let me just see. Let me just change the route on this one. No, not this one. This one. A bit confused over why you're taking vehicles all the way up there. I think we'll change you to just send vehicles to there. Remove you. Change the route to there. Okay. You make me some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're just going to sort them out. Right, I've forgotten what I was actually doing. I think probably this is a point where I'm going to need to wind the video up, actually. I've completely lost the plot. What I will do is just check here. Luckily, the demolition here goes quite quickly, simply down to the fact that they can get rid of the stuff there. As I say, what I'll do is I really need to play on now, because I've only got about a week before the early start DLC comes out now. We're now already on the 14th of May, so yeah, I've only got about a week to try and make as much progress with this series as possible. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. As I say, I'm going to try and play on. I might play on 2, possibly 3 years now. So we'll probably come back in May 2010. So there'll probably be quite a lot of change. Apologies for that, but I do really need to push on, and we've got a lot of building to get set up. So until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.